back. I'm Jay Weidner with Sharon Rose, and we're talking about the 2012 and the Return of the Goddess. It's well known, and it's not well known actually, but at the temple in Egypt, temple of for Isis and Sais, it actually describes Isis, and if you just took out Isis and put in the center of the galaxy, it would all make perfect scientific sense, because it says, I am she who rises.
Dog star.
I created the sun. Our sun is my sun, which it is. If the center of the galaxy is the mother, then our sun that shines in the sky is the son of the mother. So you could kind of go back through the language and see that this concept is well known through history, actually.
Absolutely. Very interesting, isn't it? The stories just keep repeating themselves and reminding us of just, I think, when we reach such times in our evolution that the mother energy is still there, and to remind ourselves of ourselves much more as being galactic beings or universal beings than just this little earthly being that is very important but needs to now extend and expand to who we really are.
So what do you have to say? You're in the health profession, and what do you have to say? There's all these women that are out there that are very confused. They spend so much time just trying to earn a living. They don't have time for their children much anymore. And, you know, what do you have to say to them? What can you say to help them make it through this changing time?
It is a challenge because, I mean, one of the things that I do know is that when I was a medical student, that's some 30 years ago, we never saw women having heart attacks before the menopause. Now we have young women, in fact, getting heart attacks at 26, 27. Has become almost the biggest killer amongst women in the Western world. And it feels that somehow women have got lost. They've lost their cycles. They've lost their way of connecting to the natural cycles. And that, unfortunately, is having an effect on their children and the way in which the children see their way of relating to nature, relating to the world. And I'm not putting all the onus on women, because obviously a father, a man, also has that role. But women truly were the carriers, as you just said earlier, the carriers of the wisdom of cycles. And in the ancient times where we recognized that the moon time was a time to take ourselves away from other people, to get in tune with the intuitive nature, somehow we've just forgotten all of this, and now people don't even want to have a period. They just want to get rid of those inconveniences, and obviously then continue after menopause to continually take HRT to keep some system working, which is not natural.
Recently we read an article about how the birth control pills that were taken by so many women are still taken have really affected the hormonal balance of both the young men and women, and that the women are becoming, in some sense, more masculinized and the men more feminized.
I would imagine that was absolutely true. I mean, I feel that there was a liberation that occurred which allowed women to expand, but this time that we're coming into, even though the importance of the Great Mother or the feminine within all of us must come forward, it mustn't be that women want to become men, which is, of course, has happened to some extent, but it's now a union between the duality, the male and female. And that duality is, of course, within us all, that really needs to allow the feminine through. And I think for many women, we've almost lost our feminine and more than we've lost our masculine. So returning to those cycles is very important.
It's true, and what's going on with children today is not good. The drugs that they're taking and the high suicide rates and the test scores that are continuously dropping. It's very disturbing what's going on, and I think See, my personal opinion is that that if we don't change, let's say nothing happens in 2012.
Right.
Let's say absolutely nothing happens and we just keep going on like we are. I think we're going to be extinct in 100 years or 200 years. And so I think that embracing this change is the height of optimism. And it's not something we should be afraid of. It's something we should be like racing towards with open arms.
Well, I absolutely agree. Like you, I've had people say, well, what if nothing happens in 2012? And I've thought about it and said, if this is the best we can be as spiritual human beings, then we have a problem.
Yes, we certainly do.
So I hope something happens.
Well, it's happening. I don't think there's any doubt.
Exactly.
It's happening right now.
Complacency is not an option.
No, it isn't, and neither is extinction. I don't think. I think we just need to change the way we're doing things. It's really not that hard. It's going to be closer to the earth. It's going to be more associated with growing food. There's probably not even going to be. I mean, we've passed the peak oil place right now, and we're now talking seriously about $20 a gallon gasoline in the near future, without batting an eye. Whereas just 2 years ago, if you said that, everyone would just laugh at you. Right. And now it's in the Wall Street Journal. And so we're heading towards this thing, and it's like, well, let's get prepared now so that we're not caught, not doing the right thing. And that's what I'm trying to encourage people to do is let's just act as if it's already changed and live our lives that way.
I agree. And I think it's about community, and its community doesn't start out there, it starts at home. And it really is that common union, that coming together and recognizing so much that we are role models for our children. And I think that has to be noticed now, that it isn't, the children do not want necessarily the outward expression of love. They want the internal, they want to feel it. And that has to shift in every one of us. Because a child doesn't have the expectations that we think they do. They really just want to be appreciated and loved for who they are.
And we're going to take another break and we'll come back for our last session with Dr. Christine Page. You can go to her website at christinepage.com. She is the author of 2012 and the Galactic Center, about the union of male and female coming back. You just never know. Maybe it's all going to change in the blink of an eye. Anyway, I'm Jay Weidner, and you're listening to Smoke and Mirrors, and we will be right back.